Well, greetings to you, wherever you are watching me from. So, back in August, we celebrated my mom with a surprise mini party. She turned 60 in July, so we gave her a surprise mini party in August. That is myself and my siblings. And yours truly created the cake. So I decided to create a Louis Vuitton themed bag cake for her. And so, as you're watching now, you're watching the creation of the bag cake. I baked two flavors for the bag, that is strawberry flavored cake and also red velvet flavored sponge. As you can see now, I am carving the cake. I had baked one 9 inches square of the strawberry and also two 8 inches square of the red velvet. For the strawberry, I have cut it into 4 inches by 9 inches rectangle, that is 4 inches by 9 inches rectangle. And in respect of the red velvet, I have cut them or carved them into 3 inches by 8 inches rectangle. And there were other two layers as well that are carved into 7 inches by 2 inches rectangle. And as you can see, I have layered them. I've stacked them up, filling them with buttercream. That is my homemade vanilla buttercream. And now I am carving them. Before beginning to carve them, I had inserted two plastic cake dowels on either sides of my stacked cake. Now, this is to ensure stability and to ensure that there is structure. So as I am carving, it is not going side by side. And when I did that, I placed the cake in the fridge to chill and set a bit. As you can see now, my cake is fully trimmed. I've trimmed and I carved it to the shape I desire. I needed to have it cornered in the center or dipping on either side. I needed to have it dipping and on either side. As you saw earlier, I achieved that. Now at this point now, I'm applying milk chocolate ganache. Initially applying the first coat, which is light. So it is a long process. In fact, this video was seriously shortened. It is indeed a very long process, and trying to get into those corners on the side was a bit of a stretch. But I used my small palette knife to try in order to help me get into those corners. So as you can see, this cake received a whole lot of attention at the venue of the gathering. Yes, I've now gotten to the top of the cake, ensuring that the cake is properly coated in my first coat of milk chocolate ganache. Now what I'm doing, I'm now scraping off the excess with my small straight scraper, and again trying to cover any visible gap. Now I've now proceeded to apply the second coat of my milk chocolate ganache. This one will be smoother than the earlier one. I hope you are enjoying the music being played in the background. Again, this is another track or song from my husband's album, The All-Knowing God. And it is led, the vocals is led by, of course, by my husband and my very beautiful late younger sister from another mother. Again, may her soul continue to rest in peace. But whenever I listen to this song, it just, I don't know, it just make me think and smile and saddened at the same time. Anyways, proceeding with the second coat of my ganache, and that's now at this stage I'm again scraping off the excess with my flexible smoother. I'm just using every tool possible to help me achieve the result I'm aiming for. I've now moved on again to using my straight metal scraper so that it can smoothen out the length of the sides of the bag. Again, going in again with my small offset palette knife into those corners, trying to achieve the sharp edges on the corners of the bag. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, this is a perfect opportunity for you to do so. I would really appreciate that. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to leave a comment for me. I'd love to read your thoughts. And please do share. I'll like it. I'll love it if you share my video. Thank you for being back here again. And yes, that's the complete ganached cake. Doesn't it look nice already? Now I have now proceeded to now decorating. I'm using edible print. What I did was that I searched for Louis Vuitton print on Google. So I just wanted something unique. So I saw this one. I thought, oh, that's nice. It's not the usual one you see. So I decided to use that, and then proceeded to printing it out using my edible printer, as in sheet. Of course, my edible printer uses edible ink. In fact, I do have a recording on this channel of how I create my edible images. I'll drop the link below in the description box on how I create my edible images. So I've now cut off that edible image to shape, as you saw earlier, using scissors, and then peeled it off from the film that the icing sheet came in. So what I've now done I've now rolled out a black fondant and cut it to the shape of my cut out edible image. I am now at this point in time applying piping gel, that is wilting piping gel. I find out that it is more effective to use piping gel than to use water to apply edible images onto fondant. So I was rubbing on that fondant my edible piping gel before now placing my edible image on top of the fondant. Now I have now lifted up my fondant, which has my edible print on top of it, onto my carved and ganached cake onto one side. As you can see, using my hand to smoothen it out. Yes, what I'm doing is applying water before applying the fondant on it. I'm using clean kitchen paper towel inserted in clean water, and then rubbing it gently around my ganache cake to kind of have another to serve as an adhesive for my fondant to sit on. And so, you know, prior to starting all this, I've already washed my hands. I always wash my hands before I commence any work on any cake, and in fact wash my hands at intervals when as necessary. So I've now, of course, as you saw, I applied my fondant and print on the other side, and now I have now proceeded to the corners of my bag. So I measured the corner first, and then measured it out, and then measured out the edible print I needed to cut, the size of the edible print I needed for that size, and then of course measured out the requisite fondant, applied it as I needed to, and placed it on my cake. I hope I'm making sense. So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting off the excess on that side using scissors, and then using my hand as best as I can to stick it together, as in to make it merge, to make both edges merge so that it appears seamless. So I'm using my tool as well to tuck in the bag at the base so that it doesn't, it's like it looks more like a base of the bag. So I've now proceeded to applying or placing the second cutout fondant and edible image onto the other side of the dipped side of my bag. Pardon my wafflings. Sometimes I struggle to find the best word to use. Yes, I'm just cutting off the excess and using my tool to ensure that those corners are merged and are seamless. That the print is seamless, unless you actually look closely before you know that, oh, it was joined together. So using my scissors, using my tool knife, and of course using my decorating tool to ensure that every corner of the bag or of the image print is seamless. So what I'm now doing now, it is almost impossible to get with this soft shape. It is almost impossible to get the perfect cuts. So of course there were gaps, little gaps. So what I'm doing now is just cutting off strips to fill up those gaps. And now that's the whole size of the cake completely covered in the edible Louis Vuitton print, which I placed on fondant, by the way. And now what I'm doing now, I'm covering the top of the cake with black fondant. Of course, smoothing it out with my fondant smoother, and then proceeding to cutting off the excess. Now what I'm doing now, the size or the top of the bag that is still exposed, I'm cutting out. I'm measuring the right size to place there. So I've measured it, and I needed to leave out a lip at the top of the bag. So I've now done that again. The same process. Roll out my fondant, apply piping gel, and then place my edible image on top of it. And then now you can see there's a lip on top, at the top of that the bag. Not a lip, I think more of a flap to make it, to give the impression that the bag is hard. I mean that the bag to give the impression of the gap in the bag. However best to state it, I'm not sure, but you understand. I'm sure you do understand what I'm trying to say. Sorry, my voice is a bit coarse because I think I sang a few days ago, so it hasn't recovered fully. So at this point I'm just simply covering the exposed bit at the top of my cake to give the impression that it's a bag, that there's a space in the bag, there's a dip in the bag, as you'd have open bags like that. Simply cutting off the excess, ensuring those sides are merged together, the corners are seamless as best and as possible, best as I can, if that's a grammar. Yes, that's what I'm doing. How are you all doing anyway? I hope you're all doing great. Don't forget to like, Don't forget to leave me a comment, and I would appreciate your share as well. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so and hit that notification bell. So that's it. That's the first part done. Yes, my apologies. I didn't show where I was creating the handles of the bag or the straps for the bag. So I didn't show where I was creating it. I created it and I left it to set for a while. So at this point in time now, I'm now creating or applying the bit where the straps go. I'm simply cut out the shape in the form of an oval shape. Then apply using water and brush. Of course, I used brush to apply water onto it and then placed it on my bag. You need to be careful here, because if there's too much water, it can bleed on your edible image and damage the design. So now I'm placing the hardwares. I created hardwares which I made from gum paste. So yes, I have now applied the straps. I've now painted the hardwares gold, and every stones around the cake or around the corners gold. So what I'm doing here now is simply steaming to get rid of any excess icing sugar and to allow to expose the shine. And that's the finished cake. Yes, that's the cake at the bottom as well. The round box, that's vanilla sponge filled with buttercream. Yes, I didn't record that because my focus was not on that. My focus was on the bag. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy watching it. There's another video recording on this channel of my Gucci bag cake that's fuller than this one. I showed how I created the straps, and that is me ready and dressed up for my outing for my mom's 60th birthday gathering that evening. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Do take it for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.